Plugs tuned in. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can.
Oh, I guess it's on now. Hey, Dicker with Dave! What's going on, man? Yes. Okay, old timer. Good deal. Old timer can hear me now. I thought it might have been your hearing aids, but no, Sexton Excavating and Logging. Hey, guys, what's going on, man? Zachy! What are you doing here, Zachy? Brian Smith? Hey, Brian, what's going on, man? Hey, Mammy! Mammy tuned in, and she's sitting right beside me. Yes, sir. Hey, Matt, what's going on? Matt Teeple. Teeples for the peoples. Yes, sir. Well, glad you guys could tune in. Yeah, I got all the results from our big contest here. Enjoying a little Jack and Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi. Hey, Toddy Boy, I'm having our favorite cocktail. That's my brother.
Something's held for review.
What?
This message is held for review.
What message?
You
Old timer.
don't
Like
say
you know you
at the
got
time.
started in log. Oh, like to know how I got started in logging. Ooh, that's a long story. Maybe we can talk some of that over here. I've told that story before, but I can do it again. Yep. So, all right. You need a haircut. You think?
Yeah.
Nah, it's beautiful. Look at it. Huh? It's not even hair. It's like peach fuzz. My hair all fell out years ago. That's why I can't grow a good beard anymore. It's just a scraggly mess, but I don't care. It keeps me warm. Yeah, Mammy. Thanks, Mammy. Hey, Josh! What are you doing? Huh? Yeah, but look at me. You must admit, I look like a crazy thing from out of the woods. You know what I mean? So, hey. I can't help it. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I've got a cold latte. Ooh, yeah. He's got the latte. What's Jack and Diet? An awesome vanilla flavor. It's delicious. Yes, it is. Hello, Dale. Hey, Rick Scott. Met you at Paul Bunyan 2 years ago from Youngstown. I probably remember your face if I saw you again. I'm terrible with names, but thanks for tuning in, buddy. Yep. Nazi's got a beer. Oh, you gotta watch it. Them Sasquatches get drinking. Hey, Nutsy, congrats on the 10,000, dude. You earned it, buddy. You earned it. I'm proud of you. Proud of you, buddy boy. Yes, sir. Give Pete a pat on the back there. Yes, sir. I got what? What's old time? We got Glenfiddich. What's that? Is that a drink or something like Wild Woman or something? What's going on? We just bought a third skidder today. 648 G3. Good skidder, buddy. Beer here too, Matt says. Yep, old timer scotch. Now you're talking, buddy. Yes. Now I understand that. Glenfiddich. What is that? Like Irish or Scottish or something? Who's going to Richmond? Ooh, you going to Richmond, Nutsy? When's that? It's whiskey. Good whiskey, he says. Good whiskey. Yeah, okay. Yeah, when's Richmond? All right. Hey, Matt, what's going on? Matt Sexton, old time. Glenfiddich. That sounds like Scotch. It sounds like Scotland, Scotch.
May 21st and 22nd.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. Like summer here yesterday and today. Yep, here too, Matty, Toddy boy. Absolutely. So is everybody keeping busy? I'm really surprised how good it's drying up here. We had about a week where it was mushy, and 4 or 5 days, and then it froze pretty good, and we were able to haul. I'm gonna have to do some fixing on the road I'm on, but it's not terrible. I mean, probably, I don't know, do a little bit of shaling, and then, whatever, put some twos on top and buy them some dust oil, whatever. It'll probably cost me $5 or $6 grand, but whatever. I don't know. It's yeah. Mammy's like great, but well, I can do a lot of it myself if I have to. They might not be too bad. The farmers are tearing up the other end of it anyway. Yep, Speyside, Scotland, hence the Scots name. I love it. Where's your kilt? It's drying up here good in Tennessee too. Yeah, good, Brino. That's good to hear. We didn't need a long drawn out mud season. We're finally getting a little bit. I mean, I shouldn't say too much. Hey, Chipper guy, what's going on, man? Drying up here in Michigan. Cool. Very, very good. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, we don't need a long drawn out mud season. That's for sure. But yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I left a comment on that track. I probably shouldn't encourage my bad behavior, but this guy, it just trolled me. It's like, ah, what a stupid video. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know what? I used a few choice words. I told him go do something else, you know. But whatever. What's the point? Just everybody here's happy. We don't need to hear from, dingleberries. You got nothing better to do. Go watch TV or something, you know. But advanced logging, rain here in Virginia. We don't want that. I guess you got to have a little rain, but hopefully it's really windy here. I mean, it's been like gusty winds, so it dries it up quick, you know. If it stops raining, it dries it up quick. So who wants to get down to this contest, and then we'll frost laws won't come off for a few weeks. Yeah, well, you know, we had to bond our roads, so I'm responsible for them. The state road's good; it's not hurting it at all. But the township road took a little bit of a beating. But it's kind of like it's like baby crap with a little stone thrown on top of it. That's about what it is. You know, there's just two areas in it that's probably, I don't know. There's one area that's probably 500-600 feet long, and the other area is maybe 600-700 feet long. That it didn't have any bottom in it. You know, it's just that yellow dirt under it, and it's breaking up a little bit. But literally, I can put 10 loads of stone on it, shape it up for them, and buy them some new dust oil and a couple loads of twos to top dress it. And, no big deal. You know, if I fix it myself. So anyway, that's the way it goes around here. The roads are mush because it's all clay, and you know, if you happen to be lucky enough to build a road on rock, you got a good road. If you don't, well, it's like I said, it's like kicking rocks over some dog shit and make a road. You know, it ain't gonna hold up. It just isn't. You know. So, but anyway, oh, Mammy's checking her blood pressure. Ooh, she's been dealing with a little bit of high blood pressure. It might be because she has to deal with me. I'm not sure.
Looking at you makes my blood pressure go.
Well, of course, it's because I'm so sexy. I
That's
understand.
my hot blood.
Yes. So anyway, I probably ought to get this contest over, and it's pretty cool. I'm pretty amazed, really, but that we didn't get a spot on it. That log was not as big as even I thought it was, and I'll give you the results on it. I'm not going to tell you the diameters because then you can figure it right out, but you can look if you want, or if you got a stick. But and it was Doyle scale. I got a couple questions on that. Anything I do in this contest realm. Oh, look who we got here! Look, it's Mr. Boo Boo. Hi, Mr. Boo Boo. He's a nice boy. Oh, I get my ears cleaned. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So anyway. First off, I'm going to read off all the entries. We had 34 entries. That's pretty good for such a small little outfit. Okay, so anyway, what did we have here? Okay, Matt Teeple, 950 board feet. Want to read something, Mammy?
Sure. Storm and Norman 2. Oh, Storm and Normans?
Storm and Normans.
Oh, 950.
Yep, 950. Same. Okay. Kenny Mysick, 1175. Chew, Jeremy Freemer, 485. Robert Phillips, 1375.
AJP Sawmill, 875.
Yeah. Toddy Boy.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, hon. Go ahead.
Toddles, 915.
Go ahead, read another one.
Old Timer F7,
Mm-hmm.
755.
All right, Dino Parks. Hey, Dean, if you're out there. 402. Mr. Yahoo 74, 1060. Mountain Man Logging. I like that handle. 978.
Keith Smith, 1440. Sean Tatham, 1032.
Yep. I'm trying to get this so you can see Mamaroo.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, of course they want to see
Well,
Mammy.
I'm
Everybody
fixing
loves Mammy.
people.
Oh, text Pete. Tell him to tune in. Pete, retired welder. Okay. Dave Guffrey, Guffey, 1173. Deer 548. That's a skidder, by the way. 865. Want to do a couple?
David Malloy, 1200. Alan Lyle, 952. Upstate New Yorker, 878.
Yep. JP was 942. McCartney, I don't know if that's, must be Paul McCartney. I'm sure he's very interested in my channel. 1185. Shano! It's my double down there in Tennessee. I'm a little bit better looking, but he's getting there. Shannon Skidgel, 1358. Nutsy. Now, who is that? You ever heard of him before?
Nope.
He's a guy with 10,000 subscribers. He's very
Sounds like
famous.
a freak.
Well, he's kind of like a Sasquatchian being. But anyway, yes. Nutsy, 951. Oh, look at that. It's Wayne.
Wayne Tharp,
Yeah.
1022. NJ Blanchard,
Yes, sirree.
1008.
That's my boy.
1008.
Yeah.
And Alan McGee, he's from Rhode Island, right?
Yes, he's living in Rhode Island, not too far from where we used to
818.
live. He's from originally Buffalo area, but he was a logger. Aaron Linkenfelder from Brookville, PA, 1150. Old Man in the Woods. That's Eric Poe. You can't hide from me. I know who you really are. Eric, good to hear from you, buddy. 836. Mike Wagner. Now, Mike come out and visit us last week. Was it last weekend or the weekend before? I can't remember. I'm too old. But anyway, Mike Wagner, 1300. Michael Moore. I'm not thinking this is the liberal filmmaker, but whatever.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe. 1023.
Vance Logging, 931. And Perry Roberts, 1100.
Okay, and then we have Pete, the retired welder from up there down East Maine. So yeah, that's where he's from. And he guessed 736. Michael Lindblom, I think I'm saying that right. Lindblom, Lindblom. 936. And Joel Nash, who I believe is from Ontario, I believe. Joel, 800. So that's our 34 entries. Okay, now let me explain what I did with this log. I think I said this on the video when I did it, but okay, I made a 10-foot butt log. I'm not going to tell you the diameters because that would be just too easy. Okay, yeah, Zach says I'm lucky. Everybody's lucky. You're lucky that he didn't enter. Yeah, you wouldn't enter, you shite head. I ain't gonna let you do that. You'd run over the stick and measure it. I don't know though. Zach might not be able to count that high, huh? I'm kidding, buddy. All right, I got a 10-foot butt log. Okay, it had 250 board feet in it. A 12-foot second log had 243 board feet in it, and a 12-foot third log that had 169 board feet, which brings my grand total to 662. Okay, the closest two entries, I think the runner-up would have been Chew. I'm not sure, but the winner is. Are you ready? Drum roll. The winner is Pete, the retired welder from down East Maine. Congratulations, Pete. I am proud of you, Sunshine. You did a good job. You was only 74 feet off. That ain't bad considering. Now, to be quite honest with you guys, when I grabbed that log out, I mean, it just came out and Zach wanted me to look at it. He said, I'm not sure what you want to do with that log because it wasn't ugly. It was all full of mineral and, spider cracks in it. What do you call it there? It was all like wind checks. It was nasty. I was debating. He wanted to know, do you want to put it in the grade pile or just send it for scrag? And I thought, well, it did have, like, in between the checks, it had some decent boards in it. So I thought, I'll send it. White Oak's paying real good, even if they deduct it half. It's better than scrag, So I put it in the grade pile, going to the grade mill. But I was surprised. Now I didn't deduct anything out for you know, yeah. Zach says I was going to scrag it. Zach Huey's running the loader for me. He's running the bees in, so he's my loader man. He does a good job. So, hey, MSL, what's going on, buddy? MSL is into his house. What's going on, brother? See, I'm hip, man. But anyway,
Racist.
I thought, well, I says, prices are good enough on it right now. I'll just throw it into the grade, and try to get something better out of it for the landowner. I buy the scrag by the ton, and the grade logs I split with the landowner. So trying to keep his rate up the best I can for him. But I mean, I'm not going to send something that I know is going to be low grade because you just don't get anything out of it. You get $150 or 100. So maybe it's a little better now. A couple $100, $1,000 to go. That barely covers trucking and logging. It's like so. You can't do that. But anything that's 2 or better, I try and get grade out of it for the landowner. So and it pays them pretty good. So, but oh man, he says watching it rain. You're raining again. Boy, you guys have got a lot of rain down there. Man, it's been nice here. We got a few showers yesterday and last night. We had some showers, but I mean it's been really nice. So just wow. But I'm really shocked at how nice it's dried up down here. So, but Pete texts me every now and then. So Pete, retired welder, you have my number. Text me, and we'll get you that $25 gift certificate to whatever, Walmart or whatever you want. I don't care. It don't matter to me. Applebee's or something. You can tell Mammy, and she'll get it stuck, get it sent out to you. So, but yeah, it's amazing how dry it is here. For usually this area it's either very dry in March or very wet, and this is fortunately a nice dry March. And again, like I said, the wind is helping. Matt Teeple, it finally dried up here in Virginia. Will rain all next week. The rain seems to have been going south of us. You guys are getting it all. We've been pretty fortunate on that aspect with the rain, but it's not unusual for us to have big rain all the time. And some years you just it's just your butthole deep in mud the whole winter, and then spring doesn't help any. It just makes it worse. But this has been a really good winter. We froze in. It wasn't brutally cold. It was 15 at night. A few 10s. I don't think we had any. I think we had a couple of like 1 or 2 above or something. But we didn't have any extreme cold. I mean, now I shouldn't say anything because now we will. You know how that goes. Open my big fat stupid pie hole and it'll start getting, we'll get winter now. But no, I mean, I think we're out of the woods for the most part. I think it's pretty much drying up. The birds are back. The birds are singing. Geese. You see some skunks dead side of the road. That was always a sure sign of spring. When you see the skunks out roaming around. I saw a little groundhog in the field there yesterday, roaming around, looking for, somewhere to. Hey, Lauren, what are you doing? I know her. That's Pete's lady. Yes, Lauren LaBrosse. How are you doing, Lauren? Hope Pete's treating you good. If he ain't, I'm going to kick him in the butt, huh? I know he will. Hey, Lauren. Yeah, you guys need to come up, or we'll come down or something. I'm supposed to go look at a job down there, that Greene County job. I was thinking about maybe going down there Sunday. I don't know. But what's this, Toddy boy? I smell skunk when I ain't ride some. What? I don't know what that was kind of. You must have went to Charo. So I haven't seen any here lately. Okay, good sign of spring. Yes, it is. It is. So anyway, I might go down and look at that job for big shug and see. It's supposed to be a pretty nice little job. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go down there. I'll have to stay down there, but whatever. Hopefully you come back down and stuff. Yeah, I want to, man. We've been trying to get away, for a few days, maybe a week or something, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to come together or not. I hate to go if I can work, because because I'm so friggin' far behind. You know, I don't know. I'd like to go. I really would. I'd like to take off for a few days. I could use a break. I know that. But what did Todd say when Anthony rides something? I couldn't see
When
it.
Anthony rode home, they smelled skunk.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we've been seeing them side of the road. I've seen a couple of them squish. So that's the joke around here, right, Zach? You know, when you see skunks, it's spring. You know, is come. You know, but that doesn't mean anything either. Though we'll get lake effect snow up into May. I've seen it. You know, I've seen it snow here on June 8th. You know, so it's rare and it doesn't stick around. But I've seen some hellacious snowstorms in April. Unfortunately, I mean, you know, you get a foot of snow. I mean, it's sometimes you get more snow then than you do.
I hate spring.
You know, because the ice comes off the lake up here, Lake Erie, and then you'll get a front come through and it just makes snow beat the band and it dumps it all over us. So that can happen. You know, it's not always fun
Oh,
in spring.
Todd.
What's this? I mean, he's smoking skunk. Oh, that kind of skunk. Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. That might not be a sign of spring. That might be a sign of dead brain cells. I'm not sure. That's funny. Hey, Stevie! Stevie's into his house. What you doing, buddy? What did I miss? Oh, I don't know. You can see this beautiful face here, you know what I mean?
It's beautiful hair.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't
That's
it?
better.
Look like freaking
Now you don't look
Bozo.
like Bozo.
I do look like Karl Rove, only a little rougher.
Yeah.
What's going on, Stevie? Good to hear from you, man. Hope you guys are working. Did you guys dry out any down there or what, Steve? I'm letting Mama take me out for dinner. Awesome. Where you going, bud? What you getting? Something good? Huh? Good deal. That sounds like a plan, Sam. We might have to hit the Mexican joint tomorrow night. We got an awesome Mexican restaurant in town.
They're wet. Huh.
Oh, you guys are still wet. That's too bad. I thought maybe hopefully it'd been drying
you wanna go
out.
out?
It's funny, it's like usually what you guys get in the Midwest, we'll get, the next day, but it's just been going south of us. It's been in a really good weather pattern. It's really, hey, is that NJ? It is. If you really want to get away, come to the Philippines. I'd love to come down there. Can you even get in down there now, Norm? Or are they still all masked up, But yeah. Oh, I want to see them chaps you baptized. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'd love to go to the Philippines, but I don't want to go down there if everything's closed up. That would suck. I'd love to meet you, Norm. That'd be fun, man. We could have an adult beverage and shoot the, what,
No.
the proverbial poop hoops. Huh? Where's Tater Man? What's he up to? Steve, when's Nuts gonna do a video of the spread? Which spread is that? Texas Roadhouse. Ooh, that sounds good. Is that where you're going, Nutsy?
Yum.
Wow. I don't know what did you say, Stevie? When's he's gonna do a video of what now?
Oh, maybe it's the auction spread.
See if you go to the maybe. Oh yeah. That's what he's talking about. I get it. Yeah.
The auction is Sunday.
Oh, it is? Holy crap. Pete, you didn't tell me. MSL, well, gotta go, everyone. Laying there, Stumper. Hey, buddy, you take care, brother. I want to come down and see you. I want to fire up that band you got there and we'll sing a tune or two. Hell, I might even play a little rhythm guitar if you got an extra. Maybe I'll bring one.
Southern Arizona, yeah.
Jake Break. Oh, yeah, I've been to Southern Arizona. You better believe it, Jake Break. That's a beautiful area. Our brother and sister-in-law were down in Goodyear, near Phoenix. And we went out four-wheeling. We went out, well, I shouldn't say flew out. We just rented I think we had a Nissan SUV or something, but we went out. What was that? That back road we went on. Came out by that dam. God, that was gorgeous. That was fun. All the big saguaro cactuses and stuff. Yeah, definitely, man. Been there a number of times. Love Arizona. Superstition Mountains. Yes, definitely. Yippers. Yeah, have a good night, buddy. MSL. I'd love to come visit. I'm hoping, but we'll see what happens. I don't know.
I don't know about this year.
Well, we're going down in May to, where are we going? Dollywood or something? But if you really want rain, you should come here during the monsoons when summer almost here and the heat is getting hotter. I'll bet there, Norm. I'll bet. Oh, hey, Norm, you asked me about those brush piles. On that particular piece that we're doing, that's going to be a reclaim. So if I hadn't rescued that timber for the landowner, I probably could have put a bid in for couple $1,000s an acre to clear that, believe it or not. But I'm just a sucker, you know. I try and get something for the landowner. That brush, I'm just piling it up. We get it up the dilemmas, or if I cut the tops, I'm just kind of piling it up nilly-dilly, and then it's going to be whoever gets the reclamation job's responsibility to burn it or get rid of it, you know. Normally, in most cases, what we'll do with it is just kind of broadcast it back in the woods, throw it in the skid roads to run on, pile it up. If the landowners, a lot of the places we do habitat cuts for animals, you know, for hunting. You know, they like smaller piles for small game and birds and rabbits and, you know, so make bunny huts out of it and it rots down, or just broadcast it around, whatever. But yeah, I mean it comes out pretty nice because, you know, you run the slash down and but it keeps you, you know, Norm, it makes a really good road mat. You know, if it gets muddy or something, we'll dump that brush in, and it just stabilizes everything, and then it'll never erode because you've got like a layer of steel wool on the ground, right? Hey guys, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna have another beverage.
That is like dead air time.
What's that? Well, you gotta fill it in there, man.
Jason wants to know where the Timco's at.
Jason, who?
Jason Duquette.
Oh, it's actually the boys.
Getting a new motor, I think.
Yeah, they just got the motor in. We started it. We put it on the engine stand. You know, we have those engine stands. Hooked the radiator up to it. Turned the exhaust fan on, and we started it. And it runs really nice. We left it run for a couple hours, kind of break it in a little bit. Then they were going to put it in, change the oil again.
He says, good deal. Are you missing it?
Yeah, I am. I really like that. But I'll tell you what, I got Kimmy tuned in really nice. I had a real stupid situation. Yes, the day before yesterday, I had a. Don't mind me. I have to have a little beverage. This stuff. I'll tell you what, guys. Jack Diet Pepsi. Oh my God, it's like heaven on earth. But anyway, I had an issue with Kimmy. It was like rolling and trotting, and then it would just right down and shut off. And I was like, God, what? And I was getting a code on the little computer screen. It was saying communication problem with the what do you call it? ECM wasn't telling the thing to throttle up right or whatever, right? So. We were searching. Zach was helping me today. Mitch was helping me. We cleaned all the sticks out of them. We're trying to chase wire harnesses. Well, I looked and looked. I was right. We took a panel down under the cab, and where all the controls come down out of the cab and plug in to the harnesses that go back to the engine and stuff. I looked and looked. I couldn't find nothing. I thought, well, I found one thing where a plug was kind of like separating. So I fixed that. I soldered everything back together. I didn't have the other end of the plug, so I just snipped the wires on the female end of the plug. It had been smashed before, and maybe when Clyde was running it, so I didn't know about it, and they kind of patched it back together. And those were loose. A couple of them were falling out. So I thought, oh, I found it. So I snipped it off the other end. There was like 10 wires in the female plug and only 4 on the male plug that had been there, and it got crushed or something. So what I did is I snipped them and I soldered those all together and put the shrink wrap on them and taped them up nice and hung them back up in there. I thought, oh, problem solved. No, did it again. It would run for a few minutes and it would start acting up, and it acted like a fuel problem. So at first I put all my new fuel filters on it. Anyway, so Zach was helping me there after lunch, and because they had caught up with all the wood I had cut, you know, because I hadn't cut anything in a day. I was trying to chase this stupid electrical problem. So anyway, Zachy found it. We found a wire harness with probably 10, like 18 gauge wires in it. And sure enough, he found it. It was
Yay,
there was
Zachy.
one wire that was. We're not sure if it was totally broke, and maybe I missed it. But I was like up in the cab pulling on this harness because it was the harness, like the throttle. It's not a rheostat. What do they call it? I can't think of it anyway. But the throttle knob on it. It was the wires that came down out of that. It was in that harness, and that's what I was suspecting. Because it wasn't getting a signal from the throttle body, the throttle control to the. It's not really an injection pump. I don't know what to tell you. It's a high pressure pump, common rail, whatever. So I had a feeling it was in that chain of command somewhere. So he found that anyway. I soldered it up, and luckily I ran it for about an hour and a half. It run good. So
Timber Slasher NC wants to know, how do you like those single grousers without the clipped corners on your Kimmy?
so far, I mean, it seems good. I have an issue, and it's been a long, ongoing issue. And I really think there's a valve on those Hyundais. My brother's got the same machine, and we pulled his apart and found a little hunk of crap in it and cleaned it out and put it back together. It works fine. Mine, I've replaced this whole thing, and it still isn't quite right. It's not stroking both pumps evenly. It's yeah, Jake Danger, yeah, Jack Daniels, yeah. You're right, Zach. But it's not stroking both. If I'm going up a hill and I got both pedals matted, I got about an 800 to 900 psi difference on the two tracks, and I don't think it's an adjustment on the pump controllers, although I do know how to do that. I'm just so flat out, so, you know, it's like I wish I could just take a day and work on that, and take another day and work on that. And unfortunately, if I can get it working and go, I gotta go. I gotta cut wood, you know? It's just been that way for a couple of years. It's just been so, like, I don't know, just hectic. Like, you can't take time to fix something right. And I hate to admit that, but you just gotta patch it up and go and try and make some hay. And it just seems like it's, sometimes I picture my operation like a top fuel dragster, right? And it's just out of time, like it's firing wrong or something. And it's just been that way for a couple of years. It just seems like very difficult to get everything moving just right, you know? And Zach knows what I'm talking about.
Sound like the guys on Gold Rush.
Yeah, and it's always like that to an extent. You know, you might have, 3 or 4 good days and a couple bad days. That's pretty much normal. But boy, it seems like for the last 2 or 3 years, it seems like you get, 10 bad days in a normal day. It's like, I don't know. It's just frustrating. It's like I wish the clouds would dissipate, And but I mean, it's also playing catch up. It's been rough for what 4 years, And I hate to say it, and I love Trumpy, but the fight with China hurt the industry, And Eileen Bell, you can adjust the track pressure.
Things disappear.
I don't know why they do either. Yeah, they fade. Rest of the track pay and flow from the cab screen. Yeah, I can't. I once found that on the controls. It wasn't for the tracks, but it was for. And I don't know. I might be able to do that, Timber Slasher. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think I can with that one. It's kind of a crude system, but it'll read out what's going on. I think that little solenoid that strokes the pump isn't working properly. I think it's an electrical issue there. Now, when Clyde was running that last year, they had a small fire on it. It wasn't a big deal, but they had a fire back by the pump somehow. It got going. And I remember there being a pilot line that had burnt off bad enough where they had to replace it. They got the fire out, thankfully, But they had a pilot line and weren't sure where it went. And I'm not sure if they ever got that right or not. And I'm not knocking them. I mean, I wouldn't have known either. You know, I can remember the discussion. Hey, you know where this goes? No, I don't know where it goes. And I'm wondering if the pilot line from that valve, what that valve's supposed to do is pick up a signal when you pound both tracks, and then it strokes the second pump, or like one pump runs one side, pump one, pump two runs the other side. But when it calls for more, this little valve is supposed to stroke, I guess, the one pump or two pumps. I'm not even sure. I gotta figure it out. But we put a new solenoid in it, and it brought it back to life somewhat. But I'm still lacking some pressure on the pump. Now it could be, and it seems to me this thing has been this way since I've had it. It does seem like one side's lazier. I've replaced the drive motor on that. The tram motor on it. So we were getting a little bit too much bypass case drain, so we've replaced that. But I wonder, can you adjust boom and dipper speed? I don't think, yes, you can adjust boom and dipper speed, but not the tracks. I do, Todd, you're right, because he's got the same machine. I just put a conversion kit on my Hitachi Delimiter, an eliminate computer hydraulic pump. Oh, wish that would come back. All right, what was that? A head case, and that had a dragging swing blade. Hair out for 2 weeks. Okay, so this valve thing I'm talking about, I traced it. I was looking at it today, and it does come back and stroke. I can't remember which pump is which, but it does come back to the controller on the one pump. But I'm almost wondering if maybe one of those lines is goofy. But I mean, it works. It works pretty good. The only time you really notice it is if you come up against something, climbing a steep hill, you'll notice, it gets, so I gotta fix it. But other than that, this little sucker works so good. That machine, what I can do with that thing, it's just a little 160. People ask me, what size is that? What can you do? That sucker works so nice. You know what I mean? But there's just a few issues, that it's me. I just haven't, I can't take the time. You ever get in a situation where, you're like, it's like a catch-21, you got to take something down and fix it, but you can't right now. So you patch it up, you keep going the best you can, and then something else happens. And it seems like this, like I said, it seems like my whole operation's been like this for a number of years. And I don't like it, but I got to roll with the punches. I got to roll with the punches. I just can't, it's been so hand to mouth for the last few years. I can't just stop and fix things the way I like, But getting the Timco back together, they're doing some stuff to it while it's in the shop. I got a pump seal leaking on it. I think maybe eliminates computer from the hydraulics pump, and boy, does it work good. Now, Jason, that sounds interesting. Jason, I probably ought to email me, Jason. Stump Jumper 5. Yeah, Stump Jumper 5 at windstream.net. Stump Jumper 5 at windstream.net. Message me on that, and I'm going to give you my number, or get your number. I'd like to talk to you about that. And also, John the Logger from up in Connecticut, he bought that. Is it a Doosan? Yeah, he bought a Doosan 140, put Orion's head on it, and he got it deleted. And I'd like to do that with mine too. But I don't have the DEF, but it's got that stupid... It's just... I was looking at it today, trying to find these wires, Tracy's wires. The Orion's excavator is awesome. Way to go. In my 210 link belt, the Orion's 3550 will grip it and handle it. Yeah, oh yeah, buddy. I'm telling you what, it's impressive. And even, like I said, even that little 160, it's amazing what I can do with that silly little thing. And I mean, a 200 size machine would be much better. I mean, you get 6-cylinder, you got more hydraulic flow, and you can really grab it and swing it and throw it and rip it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it's a good setup. It really is. So, hey, Joe, what's going on, man? Good to see you, Joel Nash. So anyway, the the uh, the productivity of that little 160 is pretty good, and I'll tell you what, those single grousers, it just saves you so much time. You know, where you're not dicking around, slipping and turning and yanking and pulling. You just point it in the direction and pretty much go. I mean, you know, you're trying to avoid stumps and stuff, but you know, the little twigs that you used to have to really worry about and move out of the way, and you know, you just roll over them, the brush tops, whatever. I mean, it's pretty amazing, you know. But oh, Mammy says I am so handsome. I know, and you're so blind, and I'm glad. I'm glad my wife can't see. I know that. Yeah, Joel, just relaxing now. Been cutting some soft maple, red oak, white oak. I don't miss the footage on your old white oak. Oh, that's all right. That's hey, you're close, you know. But yeah, I was surprised that log didn't have more in it, to be honest with you. But I've been cutting, you know, smaller stuff for a while, and you know your judgment gets a little wacky. Sexton, we run a bell, not we run a bell. I would like to get a good. I'll tell you what, Sexton, I had bells. Well, I had a rubber tire bell, 3-wheeler, and then my cousin Dan Marvey, Mental Marvin, he had a track bell, and he was contract cutting for me with the track bell. And I could run the living crap out of a bell. And I'll tell you what, now, his track bell was a nice machine, but I like the rubber tire machine better because it just got around so much quicker, you know. But would you get it set up like that? But would like to get it. Yeah, I'm telling you what. Oh, who's that? Oh, the footage was 662, guys. 662. And the winner was retired welder from Maine, Pete. He had, what was his entry? 736. He was the closest. He was 74 feet difference. So nobody got real close on that, but it did appear to be a bigger log. Even I thought, when I scaled that, I went over it twice. I actually I took the stick back and stuck it back on there twice because I thought maybe it's a Biltmore stick, you know, and one side's tree scale and one side's log scale. I said, did I do that wrong? So I went back and no, I did it right. It just wasn't that big. I had a bell that burned, bad day. Yeah, well, I burned a couple of fella bunches. It sucks. You know, we've had bad. You can go back and look at the videos. They're both on video. We had 2 machines go up in flames, plus a truck last year. And I swear to the good Lord, right hand on the Bible. I should say right hand on the Bible. No funny business. We just, you know, it's just awful. Yes, we had a wheel bell thing, can move in the woods very well. Yeah, and the only issue I had with the bell was, you know, we do get into some pretty precipitous ground, and you know, you just couldn't. You know, we used to sit on a tram road with the bell. We'd sit on the, you know, the skid road on the side of the hill, and we'd just dump wood down to it, which we still have to do on occasion, even with the shovel machines. You know, it's too steep or too wet. And the bell would work good for that. You know, you'd start at the bottom of the hill, and you'd work your terraces up, right? Your lifts. So when you're done, obviously on the bottom lift, you can start throwing your tops down into that, right? Because you're done logging down there. So, and the same principle or same theory applies for the excavators or shovel, whatever. But the bell would work good. You could sit right there and turn within the 10 or 12 foot road and cut your tops off and, you know, slide the logs down. But I mean, the difference between a bell, it's the same head. This Ryan's head is damn near identical to a bell. It's just built better. And the reason for that was Don Ryan, which I didn't know until fairly recently, and talking to Don, pretty close friends with him now, and of course Josh Eller, who's pretty much oversees the manufacturing of the heads out there. The bell, I asked him, I said, how did you get away with being so close on that? He says, because I designed the bell head with Paul Bell. I said, no kidding. He said, yeah. He said, they work together. I think at the time it was from Moorbark with the Moor bell. And Don helped design that, so he has his intellectual property in it too, so there was no copyright problems. So Don did a wonderful job at basically beefing up whatever problems that bell head had, you know. But it's still such a simple, you know. And I love the guys at CSI. They're wonderful people. They're, you know, I'm not knocking anything they do, but that Ryan's head is so simple and so just easy to work on. You know, like troubleshoot if something happens. It's just a really good, you know, Timber Slasher, CSI, what? Yeah, Ryan's went with what Ryan's seemed to be the best design for the money. Yeah, and it's very reasonably priced. It's very well. The welding, the steel is really, really stout on it. I mean, I've, you know, now on that 2800 I have, it was one of the earlier ones, and I had some issues with it, but they were right there backing me. They'd send pieces and parts if I broke something. They were right there, kind of like, you know, all right, how's this work? And, you know, and Josh would call. Josh has, you know, become a very, very, very good friend. I mean, he's been at my house. I've been to his house. I've been, you know, he's just a great kid. And, you know, he's just a great guy. And his wife, they're nice people. And he's really done a good job with that. And then the newer style 28, I want to get a newer style. They offer me a good deal, but things have just been so tight, you know, I got to live with what I got right now, you know. And, but that whole concept is just, you know, and a lot of people, oh, the hot saw, you know, the hot saw. Hey guys, I've had, let's see, I bought a brand new Timco in 1998, 425 with a bar saw, a 425, I think it was a 425C. It was a leveling machine. Bought a brand new one in 1998. Unfortunately, I lost it in bankruptcy in 2000. Things hit the fan and whatever. But anyway, I have had two 620 Prentices. Now, it was the same machine, but I traded it on something, and I ended up buying it back later, 4 or 5 years later. So I've had two of those, which were pretty much a knockoff of a 425 Timco that had hot saws, that, you know, that had a Quadco 22. Good machine, you know, just a little bit. There was a few things that were a little bit maybe fancier than they could have been a little cruder and worked a little easier to work on, but it was a good machine. Prentice 620. Prentice 620 FB, I think it was a fellow bunch of, but I had basically two of them, and I had three 759s, John Deere's. The one had a, I think it was a 2006, it had a 2800 intermittent Quadco head on it, which I wasn't real impressed with that because it wasn't really super fast like a hot saw. I mean, it would work good if you were cutting bigger timber all the time, but I cut a lot of junk. So I ended up getting rid of that and putting a hot saw on it. That was the intermittent, you know, the thing would come out on a cylinder. It was, you know, but I wasn't real impressed with that. The machine was good. And then I bought a new one in 2011. I bought a 759 with the FB 22 on it. Loved the machine. Was not impressed with that head. Now, if you were down south in Plantation Pine, I think that head would have worked good. It was designed to it would slide the logs into the, you know, the trees into the one corner on the, you know, it had like a big lobe, open lobe area on the head, and it would cuff them over as you accumulated. It was great, but it did not work good on big hardwood. You know, we did the best we could with it, but then I bought a leftover. I traded that one in, and I bought a leftover. It was a 2012 model, and I think I bought that in 2015, 2016, and that's the one that burnt on us. But that was a good machine. I bought it. I got a really good deal on it, you know, and I did not want that what is it, FS22 or FB22, whatever the John Deere head was. It was kind of a lightened up Coring Watrous head, and I just I didn't have good luck with the other one. We had a lot of trouble with it breaking. It wasn't designed, I don't think, to cut big hardwood. It was just more of a plantation pine. It would have been fine for that, you know, just strictly pulpwood. But you start cutting big trees with it, and it was not a good situation, you know. Training timber, I'm in the most directional fast saw will outcut. Good, really, really good. I love the single grouser tracks. Haven't really noticed the need to clip them yet. Maybe we'll see what happens. I don't know. They seem to work very good. What logger doesn't collect equipment, Perry? Yeah, unfortunately, my wife says I'm an equipment hoarder. Yeah. So who was it? North Carolina Timber Slasher was saying that in the right timber, in decent sized timber, yes. I agree with you 100% that the dangle saw will give a really good run for the money for the hot saw. Only because especially if you're on any kind of incline, steep ground, not even super steep, just a hill, you can reach down with that Ryan saw. You can reach down, or any of them, a Satco, any of that would work, but you can reach down with that saw and reach right around the front of your tree, okay, with that saw, and cut your front cut into it, okay? And then you come back around, okay? And I see a lot of guys trying to put notches in trees. You know, Tater will do a lot of work with the... I'm not a big fan of that. And the reason being is I don't want that tree to move until it's ready to go. You know, it's not like working with a chainsaw, you know, where you're working out the back and releasing it and now you're done, right? With the even a hot saw, you know, the less that closes and holds, the better. You know what I mean? I don't want the thing moving as I'm cutting it. You know, and with the dangle saws, you put that front cut in that, and you want to go beyond halfway. You know, you want, because the geometry of it as the saw comes out on a curve. You know, I could show you on a piece of paper. You know, you want that to come out. Bear with me, I'll show you what I mean. So here's your stump, right? Okay. So your first cut you'd want like that. Okay. You'd want it to go past center. Okay. And then when you take your saw and you pick around, you come in this way, you know, your bar is going to be, I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of a nasty looking mess. But your bar is going to go past and clip it. And it'll close on the saw kerf and it'll hold there for, you know, until you get that clipped. If you've had a notch in that, it would try and go, and then you're trying to chase it. I think you'd have worse problems than just making a front cut in it and making that back cut in it. And I usually go beyond halfway. And I learned that with the bell. It's the same concept, you know. And that way, when you cut that last fiber, you know, the tree can't move 6 or 8 inches and close that, you know, that notch. It's just going to sit on the kerf and sit there, and then zoom. But I mean, these things are fast enough where you can chase it and get it. You know what I mean? You know, that's the argument with the West Coast guys, is trying to chase a big eastern hardwood that's leaning. You just can't do it. The thing will blow up in your face and whatever. You know, you can do some trees if they're not a huge lean, yeah, but most stuff is, you guys know, cutting in the mountains, especially where you got a hellacious big top leaning on a hill, you can't compete with that son of a gun. It's not like, those guys are cutting beautiful straight conifers, you know what I mean? It's all like a balanced package on a hill, you know? I mean, it's probably got a lean, whatever, but Timber Slasher says, on my 210, I'm flowing 59 gallons of 4,400 pounds. Yep. Oh, I wish this thing fades. For some reason, my messages fade out. All right. The palm, you can cut in one pass and we'll pull splinter. Heck, with notching, that's the recipe for getting a big tree back. Yep. It really, you know. Hey, Alan McGee, what are you doing, buddy? That's my old time buddy from Rhode Island. Yep, Sexton. We can cut top and bunch with a bell. You just can't. Yep. Yeah, exactly. The same concept. Now, what I was going to say before I got on my big stupid rabbit trails was this: with a bell, you can do that stuff. Now, the difference is if any of you guys have run a backhoe, okay, digging, say you're digging a foundation for a house or a garage or whatever, and you know what it's like with a backhoe. You're limited. You scoop it up, and you've got, basically 90 degrees this way to get rid of your dirt and 90 degrees this way to get rid of your dirt. Now, on an excavator, you've got 360 degrees. That's the difference between the bell and the excavator. Same thing. It's like a difference between a backhoe and a bell. A backhoe and an excavator. It opens up another whole world. So, Sexton, I would definitely, you come up and run mine. Come up and visit sometime, man. I mean, you'd be impressed with the little thing for what it is. And if you're into a bell, even this little 160 size machine would just eat a bell's lunch. You know what I mean? It's that much more efficient, and again, I mean, it's a little tiny 160. You put that on a 200 size machine, like Timber Slasher's doing, and you are gonna, Now, another thing, and I hate to let out my secrets because I'm kind of, I don't want to say in the market because I got enough junk, but I'm always looking at these little 415 Timcos, 608 Timberjacks, the 703 John Deeres or 753s. I like the looks of the 501 Cats, but Josh Eller tells me they are an electronic nightmare, hydraulically. I don't know. I'm just saying. These machines are light. A lot of them aren't massively overwit. I think my Timco is like 9.2 or 9.6, which I think in PA there's what they call a earth movers exemption. So I think like 9.6, you really don't need to have a permit as long as you flag it, like placard the load. So these machines get you into a much easier thing to move, okay, than a big leveler machine. And one of the reasons I kind of shied away from the levelers, we had a series probably 4 or 5 years that were just super, super, super wet. And we were having a lot of trouble with when you put that big machine on a hill. It will climb the hill, but it will rip the living piss out of the hill. Okay, you're putting 2-3 foot ruts in the hill going up and down it, and then you got to fix them. So you're spending time, fixing the hill, blah blah blah. Well, first off, the 415 size machine as opposed to 425. Now I'm just throwing numbers out. I'm not perfectly accurate here. I'm just kind of throwing some numbers out. But you're looking at probably 6-7 tons lighter, machine. Like my 759s were pretty handy to 35, 36 tons with the head on it. Now I think the little 415 Timco with the Ryan's head on it's 22 ton. Much easier to move, much easier to get around without sinking, and without the cut and carry capability, you don't need that massive weight on the ground, because with that Ryan's head, you can still traverse very steep ground, and your gantry doesn't have to be level because you're not trying to cut and carry that tree. You have to have the gantry level if you're trying to cut and carry that massive tree, okay? And yes, with that 425 or 435 Timco or the Timber Pro or whatever, you can grab that tree and right up the hill. Unless it's massive, then you're going to let it go anyway. But I mean, a good size, 20-inch DBH hardwood, you can cut it, clamp it, and just walk that thing up like you're carrying a flower on a stem, and set it at the top of the road. Problem is, it takes time. It's not fast when you get on a hill with that type of a situation. Now, also, if you do get into bigger saw logs, you have to double cut them. Well, now what do? Now you're going to go up, rip the hill all up, and then around kind of like cattywampus, 45-degree angle, swing around, cut your bird mouth, cut your front cut, then down the hill again you go, and you come up behind it, and finish your cut. Okay, and again, if it's a massive tree, if it's really big, you're not going to hold it and carry it on a hill. You're just going to let it go. Okay, so my theory got to be, all right, if I'm going to do, first of all, if it's so wet I can't run the buncher on the hill and I got to hand cut it down to a tram road, then where's the advantage in having a leveling machine? You just don't need it. It's so much, it's $150,000, $200,000 more when you buy it. And if you can't take advantage of that, which where we are, a lot of the ground is just too steep unless it's perfect conditions. Now, I've been on some hellaciously steep ground. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. Okay? I've been on such steep ground when you spin around, and you look out of your cab, you can't see your track frame. You can't even see your tracks. That's how steep it is. That's how much, you're pitched up, full tilt, and then some. Yes. But the problem is you still are so limited. You end up throwing the stuff down, or you end up, if it's really big stuff, you end up either hand cutting it or just pushing it and letting it go down the hill. All right, so then if I can get in that little 415 Timco, or a smaller size machine like that, or even Kimmy, that 160, and I can walk down the hill and reach around, cut the front of that tree, reach around the back, cut it, and just tip it, and then go down on the road and gather them up. It's much easier to gather them up with the Ryan's head than the big cumbersome, Quadco 22 with the rotator. It's slow, it's cumbersome. It works, but I'm fully sold. Now, if it's just in a pole stand and you just want to mow, yeah, I can put 25 loads on the ground in a day with a hot saw. That's not a big issue. I get it. I've been there. I've owned them. I've done it. I understand 100%. However, I can't move 25 loads a day. And even if I could move 25 loads a day, I can't sell 25 loads a day. So I got to thinking, I've got this huge investment in this cut down machine that I really can't benefit from the potential of even having it. And then it's just been so wet and the hills are so loose. There's been many times when my kid was running, he said, I'm just not going to use it, Dad. I go up the hill and I go ripping down, sliding down. Or if I don't, I'm sunk 2 feet into the hill and I'm ripping the heck out of everything and ripping the roots on the trees. It's like, you know what? It's just not. So my idea was to go to a lighter machine with that dangle head on it. Now, my rabbit trail, to get back to my original, what I was going to say, is something to consider, fellas. And I would say this to Sexton's logging. Instead of an excavator, now an excavator is useful if you got the dirt digging stuff on it, but I'm going to take my dirt digging stuff off it because I have a separate excavator. And there's some downfalls to having that quick coupler on there and stuff that I can go into later. But I'm just going to put, Josh sold me a coupler. I'm going to take all that stuff off, lighten the boom. My buddy Carson Swan out in Virginia did this with the 245 John Deere or something, But you're going to lighten up your boom by probably 1,000 pounds by taking the work cylinder off, the crowd cylinder I'm just going to go to full time, and that's fine. But what I'm getting at is maybe consider, instead of an excavator, you can pick up a nice 415 with a head on it for $50. I've seen them 47 with like a processor head or something that, whatever, you could take it off. Maybe you get into a pole stand or a pine stand, you put it back on, or whatever. But you can pick up a nice a nice 415 or the equivalent for pretty cheap money. Now you have your rock guards already on it, right? It's a forestry built purpose built machine. You've got your rock guards. You've got a forestry cab. You don't have to build an exoskeleton over it. You have a forestry boom. You have everything ready to go. And the only exception, the only thing that I would find fault with on that is, and this is what I would like to do with my 415, is instead of having the work cylinder on the top, I'd like to take the work cylinder, throw it on the bottom, okay, and then build myself a little heel rack. And that the reason being is it would give me a little bit of an extension, maybe 2 or 3 foot extension for the length of my boom, okay, and it would also allow you to heel wood, because remember with a Ryan saw you basically have a grapple, right? You basically have a grapple that flips up and cuts trees. It's just so universally useful. So now you have a heel, and you also have a heel for, sticking it down just like you would on my shovels or, West Coast shovel. Stick the heel part down, and you can stick it in the ground, stab it behind a stump, and you can pull yourself up hills. You can heel it down and pick yourself up and turn. You can actually scrape some dirt around if you have to make yourself a road. You can kind of roll a stump out if you have to, maybe not a massive stump. Very, very versatile. So that's what I would like to do. I don't know if I'll get to it. Well, it's in the shop. I don't know. Whatever. I'll probably have to go put it to work and just deal with that some other time. But what I'm getting at is if you find a purpose-built forestry machine, for the price of a newer excavator or something, you could almost own an older excavator that you could do some dirt work with if you needed to, and then own Matt says this is 415 tippy. A little bit, but you get used to it. I mean, my 160's tippy. If you don't know what you're doing, you can't go running out, way out the side. If you pick that boom way out, it's no different than if you're running the 160 with a bucket full of dirt or rock. If you go whipping it out there, it's gonna, it'll tip up. But no, you get used to that. And the 415 is a little bit tippy, but then you got to remember too, you feel very secure in it because you're close to the ground. In a 425. You're sitting way the hell up there. I mean, your center of gravity is really high on that, So from someone who's run all this stuff and owned a lot of this stuff, I am very, very, very happy with that little 415 platform. And even better than the excavator, just because it has the forestry guarding on it. It already has the gear reducted track motors, the high torque, gear reducted track motors. It gets around better. Timber Subs, I've got always, I'm trying to read, buddy. Come on back. These things fade so quick. I've always wanted to try a dangle head. I think it would work well for my operation. It would. Oh, Matt, it would work super. I mean, I'm telling you. And, I mean, you guys get a hold of me. Put your email me on that, stumpjumper5@windstream.net. Email me your numbers and stuff, and I'll talk to you. I probably shouldn't put my phone number out on this because who knows, I had some idiot troll on there today, and I told him to piss up a rope, basically. You guys can read the comment. It wasn't very nice. I don't particularly give a shit. Really, you got nothing better to do than just come here and stir the pot. Oh, your video is so stupid. Blah, blah, blah. Well, go watch something else, douchebag. You're just coming on here to pick a fight, And I'm the wrong guy to do that with because I love. You just don't know. I enjoy that stuff. I can be rotten. And I'm not proud of that, but I can. I used to love to fight. I mean, ooh. I would never start it, but by golly, I could end them pretty good. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, whatever. I'm sorry. It's the Jack Daniels talking, but but you know, it's like, come on, everybody on this channel is so great. I mean, you guys are wonderful. You guys are my therapy. I don't know how to thank you. I just don't know how to thank you enough. I think about it a lot, you know, and it's like Pete said in his video. It's like he never thought he'd get 1,000. I can't believe I got 100 subs, you know, and I got like 33 or 400 people that sub to my channel. That's just an honor. I can't believe it. I can't believe that anybody would be that interested in what I have to say. You know what I mean? But I just thank you all for that. I really do. I enjoy the encouragement. I enjoy the sharing the brutality of this business, any self-employment situation. A lot of, you know, people who are self-employed, you know, when it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, you get your teeth kicked in, and you better really enjoy it and say thank you. Can I have another? Because ain't nothing easy, you know. Ain't nothing easy. But then the old saying, you know, ain't nothing good ever was easy, you know. So you just got to roll with the punches, I guess. But I really get encouraged by you guys, and I love all you guys. I love the comments. I love the camaraderie, the comedy, the encouragement. You know, I mean, stupid things happen, man. Life happens, and it happens quick. Like that rollover there a couple weeks ago on the gas. I mean, and it's funny because I've been in about every situation you can possibly imagine. I've been doing this for 40 years. I've been in some really funky predicaments, and you think you're ready, and boy, I'll tell you what, life just hands you a, you know, a fastball, a curveball, and you're like, what the hell just happened? But I don't know. But I suppose I should probably wind this up. I've always been a danglehead. Yeah, you'd like it. Steep ground is what fellas are for. Yeah, that's true, NJ. It's true. I mean, there's, you know, we do that too. But I mean, the only thing, and I have the equipment, Norm, and if I can use it, I'm going to use it. And it is, I mean, I'm not knocking anybody. Pete's probably one of the best or the fastest cutters I've ever seen. And, you know, if my machine's running, you know, not only can I cut it down by the time he gets his saw started and starts his front cut, you know, I got the tree cut down and bunched. You know, so, I mean, and plus safety is an issue too. Every tree that you don't have to cut by hand is, you know, it's one less accident, you know what I mean? So, but no, I mean, I cut for years, dude. I cut for 20, you know, 18, 20 years by hand. So I know about cutting by hand, and I've been clobbered, and I've been, thankfully, never, knock wood, never really maimed, but I've gotten busted up a little bit, and, you know, driven to the ground a number of times, and, you know, whatever. And, but a lot of the stuff that I cut too, Norm, you got to realize it's absolute junk. A lot of what I go after is pulpwood, small wood, it's limmy, low grade junk that there isn't a cutter around that wants to cut in that stuff. You know, there just isn't. Nobody wants to cut that stuff. You know, yeah, everybody wants to cut nice timber by hand. That's one thing, but when you equip yourself to cut garbage, you know, I mean, I'm basically the Fred Sanford of the logging business around here. I go in and clean up after everybody else, you know. I mean, people go around high grade and, you know, and they high grade 2 or 3 times, and then they call their forester back, and the forester says, oh, I can't help you here. Call Reynolds, you know. And then Reynolds comes in and, you know, hits the, you know, the reset button there, you know, the red, what is it, the easy reset button, you know, and I tell people, hey, look, you know, you really need to whack this junk if you ever want a good forest to grow, because oak and cherry are not going to grow in the shade of beech brush and, you know, hemlock and old plantation pine, and it's not going to grow. If you want, you know, if you want to save your forest, you're going to have to amputate this stuff, you know. So, and then I, you know, oh, I'm a rapist and I'm the bad guy, and I'm because I go back and clean up after everybody else, you know, and then I'm the bad guy. It's like, all right, well, in 50 years, the next generation will be thankful that the bad guy came along and cleaned up the junk so the good forest can grow again. And that's no BS, guys. I mean, you know that. Anybody in this industry knows that. You get full sunlight to a piece and go back and look at it. And it's amazing how fast and furious, it's just amazing. Like especially around here. Oh my God, it's like stuff grows back so fast. But all right, well, I suppose I ought to wrap this up. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Pete, you got my number. Just text me and we'll get you a gift certificate out. And you can really retire on that $25 gift certificate. But anyway, thanks everybody for participating. I'm gonna try and do maybe a few more of these or something. It's fun, it's a good time. I really enjoy talking with all you guys and your input. And hey, Dave Malloy, what's up, buddy? So where's Old School? Old School's in here. I haven't been for some reason my things are fading, so I'm gonna try and read some here. Remember watching you on the Bell in the mid-90s? Yeah, you made that old belly perform. Yeah, it was fun. I was pretty good on that thing. I could pick you apart with that. Matt, I still do a lot of hand cutting too. Yep. Ryan's handles 30-inch tree very well. Yes, it does. Okay, Matt wanted to know if the 415 is tippy. Not too bad. I mean, you get used to it. It's a little tippy, but not bad. I mean, you just gotta use your head, like anything else. What's your email, Stump? Okay, email, guys. Email is stumpjumper5, all small case, the numeral 5. Don't spell FIVE. It's the numeral 5. Stumpjumper5 at windstream.net. And you guys can let a message or personal message, get your numbers and stuff, and I'll try and get back to you. And Oak Creek Grand Video cost versus after fall, yeah. Well, around here, NJ. Hey, good night, Timber Slasher. Thanks for stopping, buddy. Very, very appreciative of your comments and your following the channel. I really, really appreciate it. I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'm coming. It's a big one, Elizabeth. I'm coming to you, honey. Yeah, Fred Sanford, my brother, says, coming to you, Elizabeth. Okay, NJ. Okay, granted, but what are the costs versus that feller? Well, I mean, I got that 160 with the head for probably what I'd pay a cutter in a year and a half. So, plus no comp. The comp out here is 54%, NJ. Again, if you use contractors, that's fine, but you're paying a contractor more than you are an employee because he's doing his own thing. So, yeah, I mean, there's no comparison. It's way cheaper to run a machine. I mean, it really is, And I'm not, I do use contractors, and we do a mixture of everything. You know what I mean? And when did you ever have file cutting permits to the state? No, not really. There's some townships around here who are pretty anal norm, and they want to the E&S. They want to review your E&S, your erosion sedimentation plans, and they want a permit to cut. But I stay away from them idiots. Most of them are down around Pittsburgh and some of the boroughs, and they're really jerks. Hey, look who I found. Mrs. Elite Earthworks. Hello, young lady. How are you? How's your hubby doing? Good to hear from you. Thanks for stopping by. Haley, I know all brother is a lover and Nutsy is a machine. Where's Haley? Is Haley in here? Is Dave here? I haven't... See, my notifications keep fading. Like, somebody posts something and it'll come up, and then it fades, and I don't know why. I don't know. Mammy was over here a while ago kind of reading stuff to me, but I don't know. I don't see Davey in here. Maybe he's in here. If he is, hey, Dave. Oh, there he is. Hey, Dave. It's Mr. Haley. Oh, hello, Mr. Dave. What's going on, buddy? Sorry I didn't see you earlier. But, yeah, see, they fade right out. As soon as someone posts something, it dribbles away on me. So I'm waiting for Davey to come out and help me out here when he gets his back situated, you know. He'll think he's in Florida compared to where he lives. Dave, no! What's going on, Dave Haley? Hope all is well out there in Siberia. Huh? You guys getting any good weather out there yet, Dave, or are you still like frozen right up solid? Earth first, we'll log the other planets later. You got it, Zachary. Absolutely. How many hours does a faller cut a day? There are no restrictions here. You know, there's no, I know in California they're only allowed 6 hours or some crap. There's nobody bothers anybody here. You do whatever you want to do. There's nothing. Now that's as a contractor. I mean, if you want to be an employee, I don't know what you're going to fall under, but as a contractor, I'll cut as goddamn long as I want and wherever I want, and I'll log naked if I want. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. That's the beauty of being self-employed, independent though. You know, if you're somebody's bitch, if you're somebody's employee, I mean, you're subject to whatever OSHA it wants to bring about, and then even like on the mines around here, you know, you're subject to all MSHA, you know. So, but if you're independent, you can pretty much. You still gotta watch with the mine crap. I've gotten in a couple of arguments with them jerks, and they're a bunch of hot water. You stand up to them, they back down. Snow is gone, but got more. Oh, Dave, how many fallers? I wish this thing wouldn't fade. I don't know why it does. This is really good conversation, guys. We need to do this more often. Yeah, how many hours does a faller cut a day? Yeah, that's pretty standard in the Pacific Northwest. 300 a day to fall limb buck. And 2 sides, 2, 3 loads. Yeah, that's about right, guy. I mean, you know, if I hire a faller, you know, usually he doesn't have to do anything but dump him off the stump. You know, and it's really nice, you know, and whatever, you know, if a guy's any good, you're probably looking at 35, 45 bucks an hour, you know, with your own saw and stuff, maybe a little bit more, you know, that's depends. I mean, Pete is crazy, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say any more than that, but, you know, Pete is worth his weight in gold. I mean, he's superhuman. I mean, I'm not kidding, guys. I've been around this all my life, and I was a hell of a good cutter. I could cut 3 triaxle loads, you know. And my cousin Marv, you know, him too. He's a good cutter, good worker, and you know, we could do, you know, 3 loads. Here's a rule of thumb that I always went. Most of the timber we were in back in the day when we were hand cutting. We would cut bigger timber, nicer timber, and you'd usually have about 45 logs on a triaxle, okay? So your log average was probably about 75 feet, maybe, something like that, Doyle. You know, so you'd be looking at, you know, 14, 16-inch logs or something. And I think about 45 of them would make a legal triaxle load, okay? So most of the trees I was cutting, Norm, you know, now this is oak. It's not West Coast stuff. It's oak, you know. You'd get maybe a 12, maybe a 16 butt, a 12 maybe, a couple of 10s, and a stick of wood, okay? So, which is nice. I mean, that's still pretty damn good length, you know. And you figure the 3 logs in a stem, you'd need about 15 trees, you know, at 3 logs per stem, to make a triaxle load, you know, which is 32 to 3,500 board feet Doyle. And then you'd have a stick of wood, you know, that would come out, and you'd buck that off and push it in a pile. You'd have a stick of, hey Eli, what's going on? You'd have a stick of, pulpwood, you know. So at the end of the week, you'd maybe gain a load or 2 of pulpwood or firewood or whatever, you know. I just couldn't leave it in the woods, you know. You'd pull it on anyway. So you would cut, limb, measure, and ring. By doing that, I don't know if they do that out west. I'm sure you stick your tape in, your Spencer tape. You run it down, and you you know, 10 foot 6, 6-inch trim, 12 foot 6, whatever. You ring it with the chainsaw and you do multiples, you know, leave your trim on them. And anyway, then you'd whittle up into a stick of wood if you could. If it wasn't, you just cut it off. But if you got a nice straight piece of, you know, scrag wood or junk that the mill didn't want, you could take that for firewood or pulpwood. So anyway, okay, so we would do pretty consistently 12, 15 loads a week, the two of us. So we would do, I would always cut, I would try and cut 50 trees a day, okay? And I would try and get that done by 1 o'clock or so. That was kind of my goal, 1, 2 o'clock. I'd have it done. And then I would go out and I would help in the landing, you know, bucking by hand. You know, we'd bring those logs out. If they were rung, the skidder could push them up on a pile and head back to get another drag. A lot of times if you're working alone, you just leave them hanging behind the machine and get out and buck them. You know, you see a lot of East Coast guys doing that video. But I mean, if you know, we'd lay poles out and then go over the pile or whatever and buck the logs. So we would consistently do pretty much 3 triaxle loads a day, and you know, so we did that for years, you know, and but that was nice timber. So now when you get into pulpwood, you know, it's more work. It's a lot more work, you know, physically. You know, if you got machines doing it, you can gather up quite a bit more stuff, you know. Good deal, a lot of timber to look at tomorrow. Good deal, Eli. NJ Blance at most trim is 12-inch out west. Yeah, but you guys are dealing. You guys like Norm. You're dealing with like 36 footers. So I'm assuming that they're going to cut 2 or 3 logs out of that to leave them 4 to 6 inch trim out of that 40-some footer. We're dealing with, you know, a 10-footer. I mean, you know, 4 to 6 inches is what most require. On the 8-foot logs, a lot of 8-foot logs you want to cut like 8-foot 8-inch, and the reason for that is a railroad tie, a hardwood railroad tie, which is a creosote treated tie. You know, 6x8 or 8x8s or whatever they are. I'm not sure the dimensions. There are different dimensions. Norm, that log they want 8 inches of trim. Now, why I don't know, but if you're going to cut for a tie market, you always want to leave. A lot of guys will just leave them 9 foot, you know. And then once they're pressure treated, they've got them, they pond saws that come out, and, you know. But they want 8 inches of trim on a tie log. So if you were making say you were making, you know, 2/8, you're going to run 17/4, you know. You know, 8/8, 8/8, you 17/4, you know, and then you go from there, you know. So, but you usually, typically, it's 4 to 6 inch trim. So, Matt, good buddy, blah blah blah. You know, good to hear from Matt always. Yeah, it's so good, man. This has really been an excellent conversation. I am just blown away. I'm very, very happy we had such a good turnout. And hey, tell our people about the channel too. You know, we're trying to build our subs up, and I really do appreciate you guys subbing and giving us the likes and the good comments. Really, yeah. 8/8. Matt Teeple says 8/8 here too. Stumpy, funny about it here. Yeah, the ties, they just want them 8/8. I don't really know why, but that tie market is for railroad ties. You know, there's a pretty strong tie market here still. In fact, there's a place right out here in DuBois, Pennsylvania that, what's the name of it? God, I can't think of the name of it. They do a lot of railroad ties. There's everybody around here ships them in there. What's the name of that place, guys? I want to say Foster's or something, but no, Foster's is Australian for beer. No, it's not. If you cut a stick under 16 foot, if you dinge dirt log scale, we have all right, we use Scribner scale. Yep. Usually you're cutting 32s and 36s and 40s. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We sometimes a lot of the foresters I shouldn't say a lot. Some of the foresters around here sell on Scribner, you know, and yeah. If you cut a stick under 16, if you get what'd you say? Shirt log scale. And we use Scribner. Yeah. Well, see, the Doyle scale is supposed to be ties going for 500 to 1,000 here. Wow. Holy crap. 500 to 1,000 board feet? 1,000? 500, 1,000? That's good. Yeah, and they got to be sound and everything, you know. Yeah, Norm. Short log scale. Yeah. See now, Doyle is competes or exceeds international at about 22-inch trim or 23-inch trim. I think you start gaining on Doyle, which I was told when I moved here, because I was used to, up in New England, everything was international. And when I got here and I got my first loads in, I was like, holy shit, what did I get myself into? You know? And, hey, Stevie's back. What's going on, Stevie? But did you eat your din-din? What did you have, Stevie? What'd you have? What'd you have? But the dual scale here in small logs, I mean, you know, this is one of the reasons I got away from subcontracting a lot years ago, because I was doing, you get 85, 90 logs on a tractor trailer and you did 2,700 feet Doyle. Sucked, you know. I'm better off, I buy my stuff, you know, I'm better off, and the mill wasn't paying anything for that. I mean, the mills are buying twos and better. They're not paying anything for them uppers, but by golly, they want you to cut them. Oh, don't you leave my uppers in the pulpwood pile. And you'd end up doing it for free. I mean, literally, you handle, you know, 80, 90 logs on a tractor trailer to get a legal, you know, 10s and 12s or whatever, 8s, whatever, and you get paid what? You know, at the time it was $80, $85 a thousand. You get what? You know, $300 for a load of frickin', I couldn't do that shit, you know? So I was better off, you know, nobody's paying anything for those uppers, so I would give the landowner a few bucks a ton for it, $3 or $4 a ton or something, and then sell it via weight for pulpwood or scrag, and you could actually make a buck. You know, you could make a few hundred. You could end up with $500 or $600 to produce the load. You know, but Jesus, you know, you can't. That's why one of the reasons I got away from subcontracting, because it's just brutal. You know, it just, you can't make any money if you're cutting real big timber. Yeah, but that's, you know. Sometimes you get into nice timber, sometimes you don't, you know, so you got to deal with, you know, you got to do what's best for the logging end of it, you know. But yeah, I mean, I've been out there on some decks out there, you know, with Alex and everything. And then, by the way, I wonder how Alex is doing. I hope he's doing good. I haven't heard much from him. He was on, I think he was on that last one we did with Pete, I think. But how many Humboldts did you do then? So, hey mama, how was dinner? Toddy says. So anyway, guys, when I was logging, always got pulp for free. Pulp for free, that was my margin. Don't pay the owner for that. Yeah, well, you know, and I don't pay much for it, Norm. I mean, you know, the softwood pulp right now I'm doing, I'm only giving $2 a ton for it. I mean, but it's going to get pushed up and burned if I don't gather it. And one of the only reasons, you know, I'm getting a whopping $700 a load for it delivered in. I mean, it's pretty pathetic. So after the landowner, I'm getting $650. But it's like 2 miles from where my truck driver lives. So it gets him home at night, and it's a few bucks rather than leave it lay, you know. Hardwood pulp, I mean, you know, we just took another hit. We had a major mill close here, Norm, again. So, you know, across the Domtar, one of our only surviving markets, you know, they come right out. First thing they do is they smell, ooh, bloody water. So the first thing they do is get their big old dick out and start swinging it, you know. So they knocked us back a couple more bucks and whatever, you know. But reminds me, Dubby Cool cutting. Hey, Dubby Cool! Dubby Cool ain't in the house. Steve-O knows Dubby Cool. Where is Dubbo? Tell him to get his ass on our channel, man. But yeah, Dub was one hell of a cutter, I'll tell you what. For a scrawny little guy, that son of a bitch could pound some wood. He's about the only guy I think that could give Pete a pretty good run for the money. Pete, I don't know, Dub's getting older now. He's older than me. He's probably 60 now, or pretty close. but Dub could cut some wood. He was one hell of a cutter. That's Daryl Rudges, guys. He's a good friend of mine. We grew up together. I love that guy. Was a friend for years. Yep, and his younger brother Jeffrey. We had a lot of good times together up in Little Rhodey, riding motorcycles. And I don't know where. I mean, Dub's out there because Steve, doesn't Dub follow your channel or talk to you and stuff? I'm pretty certain he does. Yeah, Norm. Yeah, Norm. Some places, some mills will give you the pulp here too. You know that it depends on who you're dealing with, and and that would mean a lot. You know, even at $2 or $3, $4 a load. You know, that means a lot. You know, how many tons on a truck, Norm? About 25. My truck's a day cab with the lighter. You guys call them hay racks. You know, I have the McClendon, which is a 4 bolster trailer. Now we did add a little set in the middle just so we could haul some short logs to make 3 tiers. About 20. I can legally haul with the 2% over 80. You know, they give you what is it, 82 260 or 82 620 or something. You can do about 27 ton, 27 and a quarter ton, I think, on that light setup. You know, but that'd be cool's mom passed away. Oh, Mary passed away. When was that? Oh, yeah, oh, Mary. I knew her well, man. I didn't know. Oh, that's too bad. I'll have to call him. When did that happen, Steve? When did that happen? Same as out west, 80,000. Yeah. Now you can get, oh, a month ago. Wow. I didn't even know. I'll have to give him a buzz. That's too bad. Jeez, I didn't know that. Mary was a good old gal. Joel Nash, I am for 80,000 and 10,000 feet per day. 8 to 10,000 per day. Yep. Truckload. Yep. On Doyle. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. Now you're cutting by hand, Joel. You don't have a machine cut. You're good. I mean, if you're in decent timber, you're doing that. You're doing all right. You know. Yep. That's pretty good. That's about what, you know. Like I said, we did 3. We could do consistent and decent timber. Could do consistent 3 loads. You know. I mean, and that's good. You know, that's good stuff too. You're not gonna get that in junk. You know. Forgot to tell you, John Babcock rolled 7s while on a vacation in Florida last week. Johnny Babcock? Does that mean he died? 55? That's Jack's kid, Todd? Wow. I don't know why. Joel Nash, what's a good cutter worth nowadays? What's a good cutter worth? I don't know, Steve. What do you mean? Contractor, or what are you talking about? Contractor, I mean, like I say up here, I mean, if a guy's really good, I mean, you know, whatever. Maybe 35 to 45 with his own equipment, depending on what you can do an hour, you know. But NJK overloads, but you put ruck, and I think, oh man, I don't know why this thing fades. 100,000 pounds, haul up to, yeah, you can do that. I mean, 3 or 4 day in junk timber. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We're cutting junk, Zach, pretty much. I mean, that spruce is nice, but yeah. Big plumbing company, 13-year-old daughter. Oh, that's too bad. Jeez, I didn't, wow. 55. What did he have, a heart attack? Huh. I pay $90 per tractor trail. Yeah. So, let's see, NJ. Yeah, you can get, I think, a permit here up to 100,000, but you have to have a dedicated run on like a dedicated road. I don't know why. I don't understand why I got to keep hitting these messages. This drives me nuts. But you got to have a dedicated run. You know, that's on a particular dedicated road, and then you can get a contract for up to 100,000. And I don't think that can be a secondary road. Those have to be main roads. Around here, Norm, we have to bond our roads. It's 12,000 a mile blacktop and 6,000 a mile dirt. You have to post a bond for every road you run. that's 10-ton posted. Now there are the main arteries, you don't have to do that. So of course this time of year everybody's trying to find something on a main road so you don't have to deal with the frost laws, because we have what's called a local LOLD, local determination. You don't have to bond it, but you have to put your name all over it. So if you destroy it, but and then February 15th to April 15th, that's out the window, and you have to scale. You have to bond. So Keith Smith, did you guess on the scale on a 700-foot 3 log? Oh, dude, it looked way bigger to me. Good deal. Stay safe. Yeah, Keith, it's happening, buddy. You did a guess on this. Wow, no kidding. Not out west. You talking about the road bonds? So I've been thinking about contract cutting again, just out of the loop. How much the pay is? Well, Steve, around here, it was always the cutter. If you're subcontracting for a mill, when you say, right now maybe the average dual scale around here is 125,000 board feet. The cutter would get a third of that. That's rule of thumb, and the other, the owner of the machine, skidder operator, maybe a little less than a third for operating, and then the rest would go towards fuel and machine and insurance and blah 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 blah. So usually around here, a contract cutter would get a third of, basically for the $100 a thousand, you'd be $33 a thousand, or so if it was 125 a thousand, what would that be divided by 3? What, 40? Basically 40. So if you could cut 10,000 feet a day, it'd be $400 a day. It's pretty good money, So. No kidding, not sure. 150 a day, 150 a day. Labor up 3 to 4 cents a foot is what I pay. Whether you can cut or run skidder. Yeah, so Eli, you're right in that. $30 to $40 a thousand. Yeah. Todd, I need 300 a day. Yeah, that's not a big deal, Steve. That's very doable. If you're cutting like that. So. Yeah, if you ever want to make a move out to PA, Steve, I got spare skidders and we have plenty to do. Yeah, if a guy's willing to, take on a contracting, with his own saws and a pickup truck, you need to make some money, You're worth 300 all day. Yeah. No, that's not a problem at all. That's. I think if you're in decent timber, I think you'd do better than that. You know what I mean? If you're, you can put some wood on the ground, and which I know Stevie can, But I'm not going to tell you what I pay Pete, but he's well worth every penny of it. That's up to him. But he's, Pete's a monster. I mean, Pete's just, you just watch him move, watch him go. He takes a step and he's moving 5 feet. I mean, it's just whatever, But Old Logger has a heck of an operation. Old Logger, Wade, yes, he does. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Old Wade is into everything down there. Their mill, I honestly, I don't envy him. I just don't see how that family gets a moment's peace. I've never seen a harder working bunch of people in my life, and I mean it. They are absolute workaholics, and I mean, God bless them. I'm not knocking them in any way, but I don't know how they get the energy, all of them, and then run the farm, hay, and take care of animals. And I tell you, that's about what my son-in-law, gets running excavator plus 2% of the company a year. Hey, Pete, here he is. Hey, there's my buddy, old retired Pete the Welder from Maine. Pete is definitely a pro. Yes. Hey, Pete, did you know you won the big prize tonight? Yes, sirree, buddy. Down my boy. You was only 74 feet off. Over the moon, buddy boy. Over the moon. Huh? I don't even know. Did you even know you won? I haven't been paying much attention to these, the things here. I'm trying, but Normally I can do myself is 8 to 10,000 cape a day. Get cut, skid normally in decent timber. Yep, that's good by yourself, Eli. That's really good. I'll tell you, when I was working by myself in decent timber, now it doesn't have to be huge, but decent, 18, 20 inch, 22-inch stems. I could do 9, 10, 11 loads a week by myself, with that little 225 I had. I still have it actually. And I made money, I really did. But I worked pretty smart though. I didn't work so hard as I did smart. I would kind of I kept my axes and wedges in the skidder, but I'd set them up, let them set back, and I'd just push them all with the skidder, the arch, and line up 3 or 4 trees, hook them up, pull forward, get out once, trim them, and knock the tops off them, and you're not running back and forth on every stem 400 miles. You know what I mean? So I could produce pretty good. I had a log truck driver, old Gordo. Hey, you got somebody helping you in there? I said, no. He says, you do more than a lot of 2 crew guys I know. Well, it says I just work really efficiently. I mean, I make every move count. Yeah, Matt, that is good footage, old Eli. Old Eli knows his stuff. Watch his videos. He got some good vids. I was watching them the other night. Yep, very good. I'll tell you what, you guys. You guys all need to go over and watch Odie Horse. He's out west. He's in California. He's cutting some of them fire burns. That guy, man, does he put out some good videos. Oh, my God. The music and the, what do you call it? My videos are trash. I mean, I know, I admit it. But he is great. He's a good cutter. He's just a really nice guy. Me and Pete was thinking about going out and visiting him sometime. Maybe cutting some of them old charred California trees. 4 loads of logs, 4 loads of wood this week. That's good, Matt. Nothing wrong with that. By yourself, that's damn good. It's good pay. That's a good pay, man. That's a good pay. I'm going to turn you guys this way. See if I don't know how to turn these notifications on all the time. I don't know how to do this. Wish I could do it. Tap chat, live chat, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how to do this. I'm telling you, they go away. Like, as soon as somebody posts one, it just goes away. I watch Odie Hoss all the time. Yeah, he's good, ain't he, Pete? Did you know, Pete, that you won this thing? I still haven't seen your answer. You won your huge $25 gift certificate. You can retire now, buddy. Huh? No, you wouldn't use it much, but I think you should get it. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm not opposed to that. I would probably use it. Norm, I'm not opposed to it. It's just, here's what I'm facing right now. I'm short-handed. I'll be right back. I gotta get a little better. I'm short-handed, trying to. The markets have been so topsy-turvy. If I had a yarder, Norm, I could probably pick up a ton of work that nobody else wants to do. You know what I mean? So I'm not opposed to it. I don't need it in a lot of instances. Like that deal a couple weeks ago when you said, oh, you should have a yarder. And it wouldn't have made sense in that case. But yeah, there's lots of. I'm not even going to tell you what the final offer. The guy called me back and was going to let me have that little eco logger on the Clark skidder. You can go back and look. It's Daniel Boone's got it on his videos, and I made some videos on my channel. You'd have to search back. What a beautiful little rig. I mean, that thing was really cool. And it had the carriages with it. It had a carriage with it. It had all the talkie tutors with it. It could go out 1,200 feet, I think. And they had 400-foot extensions. New cable on it. I mean, it was nice. And he made me a fantastic. He called me back and said, you want this? I'll cut it loose for you. And I was this close. I felt bad because I said, yeah, I think I'm going to do this. And I just couldn't put it together. But, yeah, I'm not opposed to it. And there are many cases that thing would work awesome for me, Or the Christie, I'm not, whatever. I saw a Christie on a trailer I thought was pretty reasonable out in California. It was up near Redding. And I actually called the guy on it and talked to him. This was 3 or 4 years ago, but yeah, I'm not opposed to any of this stuff. It's just a time, a time to, I'm getting old, man. I'm 56. I don't know how much more of this have I got in me. I'm in debt up to my eyeballs right now. I really thought I'd be done with it 3 or 4 years ago, and we had to refinance and stretch things because the markets went to hell. And I still got some good equipment, but I'm trying to make it last. And I'm not in a situation where I can just, I really don't want to go any deeper right now. I just kind of like to maybe sell some surplus stuff and pay down my debt and kind of. I'm very concerned because I'm not. I feel good. I feel like I'm in great health, but I'm not. I have diabetes and high blood pressure and freaking. I've had quadruple bypass. I've had 5 stents put in. I've got. My heart isn't damaged, but I'm all plugged up. Whatever. I mean, not right at the moment, but So, yeah, I get it. I get it. Rent it out by the day. I know. I know. I think I could use it a lot, Norm. I really do. If you saw some of the jobs that when I was thinking about doing this, you'd think I would be a nut not to have it because it would have saved me piles of skidding. But anyway, back to the other thing. I'm just concerned. I don't want to leave my wife with a big mess. And I'm probably a miracle you are, Stump. Yes, so well, whatever. I don't know. I'm just a working man that I can't lay down. I'll never lay down. I'll probably expire on the move. You know what I mean? I just I don't know. I really don't want to like retire. I'd like to be able to maybe do what I want for a few months in the winter, maybe get down south for a while, and I'd probably still like to do something down there or run equipment for somebody or do a small job situation or something. I just have no desire to ever really be fully retired and not work. I don't. It's not in my vocabulary. I can't picture myself being. Oh, nothing to do today. Just float around. Whatever. But I am nervous. I am concerned. I do not want to leave my wife with debt that I've created. I really thought I'd be out of the woods by now, and literally a couple good years, and I can be. I mean, we're all right. We're not destitute, but I don't like having the business debt looming over her if something were to happen to me. If I stroke out or I have whatever, I'm worried about that. So that's one of the reasons I don't really want to go any deeper right now. I'd like to sell off. I've got quite a bit of surplus equipment that, I'd like to get into the shop and get cleaned up and maybe painted and power wash and go over some things. And, I've got a decent little D4 cat that needs a few items, and got, the Timberjack 450 cable. I just don't use this stuff, And when I bought it, we were doing 2 crew thing, and that just, I can't make it work. But the markets are so yucky around here. They're so whatever. But remember, if you're not using it one day, you can always run it up by the day. Yep, so it's urgent. Job is a mess. It left marked timber, 70 acres. Yeah, wow. So, not familiar with the Ecologger, but at Christie I am. Yeah. I am. You're still a youngster. Yeah. Sometimes I don't feel like a youngster. I feel pretty good. I mean, I feel pretty ambitious, but I get tired quick, Norm. I don't have. I mean, I used to be able to go, 10, 12 hours and then do something else, or but I just I don't know. I don't have that stamina anymore. Retiring sucks, believe me. Yeah, well, Norm, you're I don't know, how old are you, Norm, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, I'm 56. You know, I hope I got another 15 years in me, you know. I mean, before I get so damn decrepit I can't do shit, you know. Retiring sucks, believe me. Yeah, I don't know, you know. But I bought my dad a new still for his 89th birthday, Keith. Wow, Keith Smith. Never give up. Amen, brother. That is awesome. That's awesome. Yep. Yeah, Toddy. Haba. Old Haba's 94. 94 years old. By golly. I got a camp in Maine. So I do. Pete would understand that. Sorry about my finger. I probably should have flipped this thing over so the camera's on the other side. I don't know why does anybody know why my notifications like fade as soon as I leave them alone? I don't get it. Wonder if no, that ain't doing it either. All right, well, guys, I probably ought to cut this off. We've been at it, wow, 2 hours. How in the heck did that happen? But hey, guys, but you're getting $1,400. Doesn't that make you feel all safe and happy? Sarcasm Stump understands. Yeah. Yes, sir, buddy. You are just a retired welder, yeah, and you're still out cutting wood on the side. Yeah, old loggers never die, man. They just, you know, hang around like moldy cheese. Old cherry field, man. Down east, down my boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can't get there from here. Where you boys gonna get chip pie? Did I tell you about that story, Pete? I was getting on the interstate out here in Embleton, PA, and I had John Deere. No, it was a Peerless, a timberjack loader, and 437 or something. I don't know what it was. But anyway, I get on the interstate, and I think this big truck. I'm getting fading into the, you know, have. Hey, good night, Pete. You better hang around just for this one story. I'm pulling off into the, you know, off the entrance ramp, and I hear this guy come on the CB. He says, "Where you boys gonna take chip pie?" And first thing right out of my mouth was, "It ain't a chip pie, it's a loader." I said, "You must be from Maine. You're a maniac." He said, "Yeah, that's sure. Where you from?" I said, "Well, originally Rhode Island, so I can interpret that Maineese stuff, you know." All right. Hey, guys, I love you all. Thanks so much. What a blast. What a total blast. What an absolute blast. And I'm glad you guys came along. We had a really good chat, good time. And we'll do it again soon. It was just great talking to you guys. Love you all. Have a good night. God bless. Be safe. Take it easy, guys.